Perfect.
What's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation, man? Glad you could join me this evening. It is your host, Ed Honcho. You already know what this is, Sauce Sports. Sauce Sports, the Houston, Texas Homer Network. Maybe talking all sports, but only Houston. But tonight, a little bit of a special night, man. We have a guest joining us to come and represent the Cleveland Browns, to inform you guys of our opponent this week. So definitely, let's send a special thanks to Mr. Unger to the max. Mr. Unger, if you don't mind, would you like to introduce yourself to the people? Introduce yourself to Sauce Nation, man.
Yeah. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to give my proper YouTube introduction that I always do, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
All right. So, what's up, YouTube Nation? And I'm not going to say dog pound because I'm not. I'm surrounded by Houston Texans fans.
Correct.
Anyway, I'm Unger to the max, and tonight is another episode of the Sports Room. However, I'm a guest this week, as you can see, and we are previewing this Week 11 matchup. No, I'm sorry, Week 10 matchup. I don't want to jump ahead. Between the Houston Texans and my hometown team, the Cleveland Browns. So, thanks to Sauce Sports for having me on the show.
Oh, man, thank you for being here. Like I said, it should be a very interesting week, man. There's a lot of stuff going to be going on, and I know you guys have been going through it, so we're definitely going to get into that. But before we get into that, we do a little thing around here called the Sauce Nation Roll Call. We're going to see who is joining us early on, and then we're going to get into it, man. Look, go DJ. I don't even want to hear from you. I ain't even gonna shout your name out. McVice, what's the motherfucking deal? DeMarkey, Master Race, Lil Chi, Purple Drink, what's the motherfucking deal? Jamal, Richardson, Charles, Montgomery, what's the motherfucking deal? Go DJ, you get no shout out because you said what you said. Clayton, Tiger Texas.
I do have a little Houston Texan stuff.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Representing Cleveland. Chopper
right
Snail, 503. And Naveed Muhammad, what's the motherfucking deal? Anybody else say, if I missed you, I ain't dish you. We're going to get into some good conversation because today might be a little bit of a shorter stream than we normally do, but we're going to make sure it's jam-packed full of pertinent information. So, like I was saying earlier, man, Mr. Unger, it's, and before we dive into it, link in the description below. Go and subscribe to Mr. Unger to the max, representing the Cleveland Browns, holding it down for the Browns, so he's going to have all the information you need to know when it comes to the dog pound, Baker Mayfield, Chubb, and everybody else. So, again, I know a lot of y'all talk about this when we're in the Sauce Sports, we're in the Discord and those things. So, again, this is a gentleman who can provide you all of that. So, again, like I said, thank you for being here to inform Sauce Nation. But so the first thing I see, man, I know that you guys have kind of been impacted by the Rona situation. This game was kind of tentative for a second. Looks like everything's going to be in play. They said nobody had, hard contact, so they feel like everything's good. I think y'all's facility's open back up.
Correct.
And then I know Baker had a situation kind of prior to. So,
correct.
When you kind of first heard about Baker, and you guys were going into a bye week knowing that we were your next opponent, how did that kind of make you feel? Were you confident in Keenum? Were you concerned? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
It's such a difficult question to answer because I don't know how to feel about Baker Mayfield right now. Like, he's been such like a inconsistent quarterback. Like, you know, he had the 5 touchdown performance against Cincinnati, and then he comes back and stinks up the joint against the Raiders. Granted, you know, weather was a factor, but still.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how I would have felt if Baker wouldn't have been able to play, because, you know, he's been so inconsistent. I don't know what we would have gotten out of Case Keenum anyway. Like, we probably would have still tried to stick with the same game plan that Kevin Stefanski has brought to Cleveland to run the ball heavily, which I believe Nick Chubb is going to be healthy and will be active for this game. So I don't know how much he'll be on the field. You'll probably still primarily have to deal with Kareem Hunt on Sunday. But you might want to keep an eye out for Nick Chubb, because before his injury against Dallas in Week 4, he was our primary back.
No, absolutely. No, that Chubb is definitely a name I have been keeping an eye on since he got hurt, knowing that we were going to have to face him, because the whole league knows that the Texans run defense the Texans defense period is atrocious. Go to say that. I mean, you got Kareem Hunt too, who's no slouch himself. Is a guy who's capable of doing the same thing against a defense like this. We've seen, you know, lesser quality backs put up, you know, numbers. So definitely, Chubb is somebody that I'll be keeping my eye on and seeing how much he gets in the game. I know that they said that, you know, it's kind of a last minute thing with him whether or not he's going to be, you know, on the injury report or activated, but I'm expecting him to be there, and I hope that the Texans themselves are. But you guys missing, you know, a little bit of time to practice. Do you think that's going to hinder anything, especially coming off the bye week? Like, does that concern you at all, or do you feel like, you know, these guys should be in a place where they should be ready to go on Sunday?
We should be in a spot to. We should be in a good place for Sunday's game, although I heard the weather's not going to be the greatest for the game on Sunday. I'd have to check the forecast, but it sounds like it could be similar to the Week 8 matchup that we had against the Raiders. So we'll have to see about that. But you talk about the Texans run defense. I have the notes right here. Houston is allowing just about 160 rush yards per game.
Yes.
In this season, and that's the most in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And we're the 5th ranked. We're 5th in the league in terms of rushing offense. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's our identity.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's
definitely a concern. As I say, anybody who can run the ball serviceably, they're going to have a field day. I mean, you've seen people putting up monster numbers on this Texans defense. But kind of looking at the opposite of that, you know, as far as in the passing game, you know, what do you feel like the Browns would be able to do if it came to that? I mean, say you know, anything is possible. Say you guys may be down, maybe have to resort to passing to keep up. Do you feel confident in their passing game versus the Texans?
I don't. Okay, so I haven't been able to watch a lot of Texans games here in Cleveland.
You're not missing anything.
Because they just don't show Texans games.
Yeah.
So I don't really know like what type of defense you guys run. Like, so I guess that would be my question to you. Like, what type of defense should we Browns fans expect to see on the field from Houston on Sunday? Do you guys run like 4-3, 3-4? Like, are you a nickel team that primarily runs like nickel packages, dime? Like, do you blitz? I know you have J.J. Watt, but other than that, I don't really. Is Whitney Merciless still with the Texans?
Yes, he's still there. If I was to describe what kind of defense that the Texans run, bad. That's all I can say. That's all I got. It's a bad one. No, and again, yes, you got JJ. He's there, and then JJ's here. He's unhappy with what's going on. I don't know if that's a national thing, but there's a lot of rumors. You know, he came out a couple of weeks ago saying, "Hey, I'm not here for a rebuild." So there's questions about him and his future here. You know, how he feels. Whitney Merciless has been. I won't call him a bust because, you know, he had some good success early on, but he's been kind of absent. I think he's only got about 3 sacks, and he's actually our team leader in sacks, you know, up until this point. He missed the last week's game. like I say, there's nobody who really jumps off the page at you. And guys that, coming into this season that we had a lot of high hopes for, they just haven't been looking good. I mean, Zach Cunningham, I think he's still third in tackles in the AFC, if I'm not sure. He's finally kind of coming back to looking like something. I mean, it's been atrocious, and I don't want to put it all on Anthony Weaver saying, oh, well, he's a relatively new DC. This is his first year. And he's kind of been put in a situation where, you lost a lot of pieces that the Texans were able to utilize prior to losing Reader, not trying to go after him. And again, that's a big asset was a big asset to JJ. So right now, I mean, it's just it's historically bad, in my opinion. I mean, the passing, I'm not sure where we are. I'm sure we're in the probably 31st or 32nd in passing, too. I wouldn't be surprised. And then, like I say, in running, I know we're dead last because, I mean, we're not stopping anything. And that's the problem, because then it puts Deshaun in a situation where he's basically, what they say, the best defense is a high-powered offense. And so he's kind of having to step up and fill that void because, what was it? Was it the Tennessee game? And I don't know how many people saw that. I don't know if you had a chance to see it. But it comes down to a situation where it ends up having to go into overtime. And, Tennessee gets the ball. And you see he's visibly frustrated because he knows how bad this defense is. He kind of yells out like, oh, man, and everybody could hear it, because he knows that this defense can't stop anybody. I need the ball in my hands for this team to win. So, I mean, it's an embarrassment. And so the fact you said you haven't been able to see it, you literally have not missed anything. This defense has been atrocious.
Right. But you talk about your passing game. With Deshaun Watson as your quarterback, you guys are actually ranked 10th in terms of the passing game. So you're even though Bill O'Brien stupidly traded DeAndre Hopkins to Arizona for a ham sandwich, I'm sorry, but that's what that trade was.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was NFL worst.
Yeah, I have no idea what Bill O'Brien was thinking.
No, nobody.
Yeah.
I don't think Bill knows what he was thinking.
Yeah, you guys should be thankful Bill O'Brien got removed.
Oh, man, we've been campaigning to get him out of here for a couple of years. I mean, the writing was kind of, we saw it happening. There was a lot. I mean, like I say, it's not a nationwide. I know the Texans don't get that kind of national push. So, but there's a lot that's been going, especially now that he's left. Everybody's coming out and, he was doing this and doing that. But, I mean, if you were paying attention, it was obvious that, he kind of had clamps on this team. He was restricting guys. Guys were not playing in position. They were being, limited in their potential. And, again, he was just not that guy. He's a transitional. He's a guy, give you a couple of years to kind of get you back in shape. He's not a guy that's going to get you to the next level. And so he wore out his welcome, stayed a little bit too long, and ended up, doing more damage than he did help.
Right. But even though you guys traded Hopkins, it seems like you guys have a decent passing game. As I said, you're 10th in the league in passing. And this game is interesting for me because we ended up with Baker Mayfield as the number one pick in the 2018 draft. But, if you go back to, I believe it was the 2016 draft, we had the number 2 overall pick. So we were in a position to possibly draft Carson Wentz. Obviously, we ended up trading that to Philadelphia. And then the next year, I believe the pick you guys used to take Deshaun Watson, you traded with us.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
I do believe so.
So we had an opportunity to draft Deshaun Watson. What a concept! What?
And we thank you. We trust me. We thank the Browns every day for that. We definitely appreciate you guys.
And then, actually, I heard this report floating around recently. Apparently, the Browns traded that pick to the Texans because they wanted to get Mahomes. That's just what I heard. I can't confirm that, but I also cannot deny it. I'm just saying that's what I've heard recently. But obviously, Kansas City, led by John Dorsey, traded up most likely because A, they wanted Mahomes, but B, they knew the Browns probably wanted Mahomes, so they're like, we got to jump in front of Cleveland. So, yeah, And we've seen what Mahomes has done.
Yeah, absolutely, and good for him. But so, and I'm taking this, and I'm correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm taking you're maybe not the biggest fan of Baker at this point, or is the jury still out on him, or do you think he is what he is?
I think it's so. As I said earlier, it's so hard to judge Baker Mayfield because every game you don't know which quarterback you're going to get. Like, am I going to get the quarterback that came out in week 7 against Cincinnati and threw 5 touchdown passes? Or am I going to get the quarterback that showed up in week 6 against Pittsburgh that just threw interceptions and looked lost? And I get it. In his rookie year, he starts out with Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley, and then he ends up with Greg Williams and Freddie Kitchens. And then last year, Freddie Kitchens ends up as the head coach. I don't remember who the offensive coordinator was for the Browns last year. And then, this year, we bring in Stefanski to be our head coach, and we bring in Alex Van Pelt as our offensive coordinator. So, yeah, Baker Mayfield's had 3 or 4 different head coaches and at least 3 or 4 offensive coordinators. So each coach and coordinator combination is going to bring in a different offense. I totally understand that. And I can't hold that against Baker. But for some reason, besides that, in the 2018 season, he comes in week 3 against the Jets as a result of an injury, unfortunately. He plays well, played decently the rest of the season, although the exception to that would be when we played you guys in week 10, I believe. What was that, week 10?
I think it was week 10.
Yeah, you guys beat us 29-13.
But that game was a lot closer than the score indicated, though, because there were some big plays made by Justin Reed, at the 1 yard line. There were a couple of big plays made because that game could have easily been a lot different. Right.
Actually, quick side note, you guys have won 5 straight against the Browns.
Oh, word.
And Deshaun Watson is 2-0 against the Browns, and I believe he's thrown 4 touchdowns in those games, if I remember correctly. Just a quick side note there. But as I said, Baker played decently well his rookie season, which kind of expected because, he's the number 1 overall pick. He's a rookie. You kind of expect him to play well, right?
Yes, sir.
And then 2019, we bring in Odell Beckham Jr. We hire Freddie Kitchens. We make all these moves. We're on prime time. We get 4 or 5 prime time games. But throughout the season, Baker just looked off. I don't know if it was a result of sophomore slump. I don't know if it's all the hype and pressure that got put on his shoulders. I don't know what it was. But he would just hold on to the ball longer. He would escape the pocket before he necessarily needed to. And it just, something looked wrong with Baker. I'm not some analyst like a Ryan Clark or Rex Ryan or any of those guys on ESPN or whatever television network. So I'm not going to, try and diagnose it. But then this year, we bring in Stefanski and we bring in Van Pelt, and we're running the ball heavily, and we're saying, okay, Baker, you don't need to throw the ball 50 to 60 times. Maybe throw it a maximum of, say, 40 times. And it seems to be working for the most part. I mean, in all 5 of our wins, we've put up 30-plus points. I would say that's more due in part to our rushing attack and not as much, Baker. But still, in our 3 losses, we put up 6, 7, 6. So that's roughly 20 points. That's not good.
No. Well, I mean, we know something about a little bit about losses this year, and it hasn't been very good for us. And again, like I say, my concern with us is with us being one dimensional. And I'm not sure is Garrett going to be good to go to this game? Are you sure? Or do you know?
I believe Garrett is going to be good to go
Okay.
for this game.
That's going to be a problem. But, because we've had some issues, especially in the running game, but thank God David Johnson won't be playing this week. So it'll be interesting to see how the Texans handle that and if Buddy Howell gets some backup minutes or what they do in that direction. But I got a question. So, from your perception, we kind of have a perception here in Houston about Cleveland, but I want to know from your perception as a Cleveland fan, how do you view the Houston Texans? So people can have an outside opinion.
Sure. So, well, you guys are the newest team in the NFL. You've been around. This is your 20th season in the league, I believe.
Yeah, something like this.
Right.
Around there. Close.
Yeah, you're the newest team in the league. You easily have a Hall of Famer in J.J. Watt. I would say you have another Hall of Famer in Andre Johnson, one of the greatest receivers
Thank
ever.
you.
If he does not get into the Hall of Fame, I'm not saying he's first ballot.
No.
I'm just saying he is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
If he does not get into the Hall of Fame, something's wrong.
Correct. I agree.
Something's wrong. But if you're asking, so that's my general perspective of the Texans. But if you're asking me this specifically about this Texans team, like in the year 2020, it's hard for me to say because, again, I haven't been able to, watch a lot of Texans games here in Cleveland. I think the only one they showed was when you guys hosted Baltimore in week 2 or 3, whatever that was.
Yeah.
When the Ravens just dismantled you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, for the second year in a row.
But Deshaun Watson is having to carry the team on his back.
Correct.
And that's not his fault. You guys have decent receivers in Brandon Cooks, who I don't know why he can't seem to find a home.
Correct.
Will Fuller, decent receiver out of Notre Dame. I forget who your running back is off the top of my head.
He's forget. We have we're gonna say Duke Johnson. We're not gonna talk about David. We'll talk about Duke Johnson. Yeah, we don't. Want...
All right, we traded Duke Johnson. We're very familiar with Duke Johnson here in Cleveland because for those of you who might not know, Duke Johnson started his career here in Cleveland, and then we traded him to you guys. Funny enough, that's how he ended up with the Texans.
Absolutely, and we thank you for that also because he's been very serviceable the last 2 years.
It's sorry for interrupting, but
No.
I just want to harp on the point you just made about how you say we thank you for trading Duke Johnson. It seems like when a player leaves Cleveland, it's like, this is what it's like to actually be part of a good team.
Man, we say the exact same thing about the Texans. The Texans are the NFL's farm system. Guys come out here to the Texans. They just kind of, for a first round exits, barely get a playoff. We've seen the same old story. But then guys go elsewhere. We've seen like Brandon Brooks. We've seen guys. You see Hop. He's gone. He's having success, and we know he's quarterback proof anyway, so it doesn't matter. But guys leave the Texans and they go on to find more success. So it's very funny that you say that we kind of have similar perspectives of our respective teams.
Yeah, but I would say if you want your career to die, I would say come to Cleveland. I do you want me to try and name all the Browns starting quarterbacks? Because I could try.
No, man, I know. I've seen, what was it, that guy that had that jersey with the list of all
it's ridiculous. Like, we've had Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, Seneca Wallace, Brandon Whedon, Jake Delhomme, Thad Lewis started the game, Seneca Wallace, Colt McCoy, Trent Dilfer was here. Who else? Oh my God!
Yeah.
And we've been through so many head coaches. We've been through so many general managers. It's ridiculous. But at least you guys as Texans fans know what it's like to A, win the division, and B, make it to the playoffs. The Browns haven't won the division in God knows how many years.
Yeah.
And and the Browns haven't been to the playoffs since 2002.
Yeah. Well, I guess you got us beat there. I will not argue with that. I think it's okay, I'd rather be in the playoffs, I guess,
forgot
than not go.
Brady Quinn and Tim Couch.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's terrible. So, like I say, looking at this, I'm gonna have to kind of get ready to wind down a bit. But hopefully, we do a thing on Sundays where we go live before the game. I'm not sure what your schedule's like, but if you could join us, I would definitely love for you to be able to join us. We have the Roundtable on and everything.
Sure, I can do that.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Cool. Okay. But like I said, we're going to have to get ready to wind down. But, man, I want to make sure that the people can know where to find you. If you wouldn't mind, sharing your social medias. And, again, the link to the channel is in the description, so make sure y'all check that out. But where can they find you on social media?
So my YouTube channel is called Unger to the Max. Mm-hmm. I have a show called the Sports Room Talk Show on there where I do video collaborations just like this one. Mm-hmm. And I bring guests on and we talk general sports. I did a Cleveland Sports Talk panel. But primarily, at least for this season, I'm trying to do a video collaboration for every game on the Browns schedule. So I thank you because I was having a little bit of a hard time finding Texans fans, actually. So I'm glad I found you. Because I didn't want my streak to be broken. On Facebook, you can follow me at the Sports Room because that is my Facebook channel name, or I'm sorry, my Facebook page. My Instagram page is also called the Sports Room. It's just _Sports Room, and then my Twitter handle is at Unger to the Max.
Okay. But if you guys are following me on Twitter, I'll make sure to retweet that so that you can follow and you can get all of your Cleveland content. Because not only is Mr. Unger a Browns fan, he's also a Cavs fan. So hopefully, when the NBA season gets back going again, maybe we can have him back on then also. But a real quick question, because I saw somebody ask something before we get ready to wrap it up.
Sure.
How do you feel about LeBron James?
I knew this question was going to come up. Okay. Well, actually, I didn't know this question was going to come up because this is a Browns-Texans video. Whatever, though. So, when he left to go to Miami, obviously I was pissed about it. I wanted nothing to do with... Well, I shouldn't say that. I still, watched Miami and stuff, and, I didn't necessarily root for LeBron, but... I've always liked the Miami Heat because Dwayne Wade is one of my favorite players of all time, and so is Shaq. Yeah. But obviously, when he comes back here and he leads us to a championship in 2016 against a team that won 73 games and was up 3-1 in the series, I can't even tell you. When that clock hit triple zeros on Game 7, I literally tackled my dad, out of pure excitement. I'm like, holy crap, we just won the freaking NBA Finals. So, when he announced that he was leaving to go to Los Angeles, I didn't really have, any ill will towards him because, for God's sakes, he won us a freaking championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I'm going to turn the question on you.
All right.
How do you feel about James Harden and Russell Westbrook?
I am a huge fan of James Harden. I cannot stand Russell Westbrook. I am not a fan of his game at all. I don't think he's a match for what the Rockets were trying to do. I think he is a very athletic guy. He is talented in that aspect. But as far as, I don't think he's a very good... It's not that he doesn't have the skills. He's just not a smart basketball player, and that bothers me. And I think it's his decision-making more than anything that infuriates me. James Harden, he does have his moments where Yeah, I wish he had just maybe a little bit more heart, or maybe he's a little bit more clutch. And I'm not going to sit here and say he hasn't had his clutch moments, but I do biasly give James Harden a bit of a pass because of, he's had about as much success as you can have without having that second guy. And when he did get that second guy in Chris Paul, who really wasn't an all-star even at that point, you saw what happened. You saw they pushed him to Game 7 and 6. What's his name goes down. And then you have a historically bad Game 7, the most ridiculous shit ever.
Yeah,
and so,
you guys, I wanted you guys to win that series because I wanted to see. Dude, I did not want Warriors Cavaliers round 4. Yeah. I just didn't. Yeah. Because I knew we were not going to win that series. Yeah. Plus, I wanted a fresh matchup, and I'm like, ooh, Rockets Cavaliers. Yeah. Harden against LeBron. Yeah. Sounds interesting. Okay. I don't know who would have won that series or how many games it would have gone, but, I get it. Rockets fans are going to say, oh, if we would have had Chris Paul, we would have won that game. Yeah, you can say that, but I'm sorry. You guys missed 27 3-pointers.
Yeah, they missed a ridiculous amount. But, in the Rockets fans' eyes, and maybe other people see it differently, there was a lot of questionable calling going on in favor.
Yeah, but that happens in every game.
No, it only happens to the Rockets. This is how this works. We're the Rockets are the only team that ever gets cheated. That's the rules around here. But but there's who was it? What's his name? What's that damn ref's name? And there's a pattern. And when we saw that he was going to be the ref that game, and it's funny that it kind of played out the way it did. What is his name? I can't think of his damn name. But here's the deal. I mean, and I hate to cut it short because I'm going to have to get ready to wrap it up. But
no problem.
But, man, I thank you, Mr. Unger, for joining me this afternoon or this evening. And, again, hopefully, like I said, Sunday prior to that you can join us, and join us with the Roundtable. And, we'll all be in here and have a good pregame show and, talk about everything that's going on. But, again, like I said, thank you for being here.
Just message me the link on Instagram or message me the link on Twitter. That's easier.
Okay, cool. I got you. Well, I appreciate it. Sauce Nation, I want to shout out to all of y'all. I thank y'all for showing up. I want to chunk up a deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Y'all are the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. And again, shout out to Mr. Unger. In the description below, right under the little words when I talk about the show, his channel is there. Go and subscribe to Unger to the Max. Make sure you show some love, man, and let him know Sauce Nation saw him on the channel tonight. Man, show some love. Show your appreciation. With that being said, I thank y'all. Y'all know how it goes. And we are, I apologize, out.
Perfect.